Drawing in Silverpoint. Almost Lost Secrets of the Old Masters by Vladimir London. Table of Contents. 1. Introduction. 2. History of Silverpoint. 3. Metal point drawing tools. 4. Silverpoint supports. 5. Preparing Silverpoint grounds. 6. Silverpoint drawing techniques. 7. Silverpoint tarnishing. 8. Storing Silverpoint artworks. 9. Conclusion. Part 1. Introduction. Metal point is an almost forgotten media. Today, the mainstream art education does not include metal point drawing technique into a drawing curriculum, and as a result, only few contemporary fine artists are creating artworks in this media. The use of this fascinating technique has declined since the time of the Old Masters, when metal point was arguably at its best. The allure of the Old Masters drawing in metal point attracts visitors to museums still to these days. The repurpose of my story is to bring attention to this drawing technique and reveal some of its secrets. One of the most used metals for metal point drawings was silver. That is why the word Silverpoint became the name of choice for this technique. Many drawings in metal point are called Silverpoint even though the actual metal might not be silver. In this presentation, I will use terms metal point and Silverpoint interchangeably. The Silverpoint drawing method is very old and precedes drawing in graphite. Comparing to other drawing media, metal point drawings have the unique appearance of a unified surface that makes them so attractive. Such subtle rendering effects can be done only in metal point. Every line in Silverpoint is thin but clearly visible. That makes the media well suited for creating detailed, small to medium scale drawings. The metal point technique has some drawbacks. It is an unforgiving media because Silverpoint lines are very difficult to erase, so fixing mistakes is not an easy task. This drawing method demands a great deal of discipline and craftsmanship. Rendering in Silverpoint takes time, and it can only be used on special grounds. This partly explains why only a few living artists attempt to master this captivating drawing method. Nevertheless, despite all the challenges Silverpoint presents, I strongly recommend this media for any beginner and advanced art student to practice their drawing skills. It is a great media for perfecting fine art skills. It trains the eye and hand as well as provides drawing discipline. At the time of the Old Masters, Silverpoint was one of the must-practice subjects for young apprentices to develop their drawing skills before they continued on to painting in oil. Unfortunately, drawing in Silverpoint has been neglected as a learning exercise in almost all contemporary fine art educational institutions. Hardly any present-day fine art academy or art college offers their students tutorials on Silverpoint. With pleasure, I will present the almost lost secrets of Silverpoint. This presentation is illustrated with real-life examples of making Silverpoint drawings. Those drawings are part of the Drawing Academy video lessons. If you want to know more about Silverpoint drawing techniques and see how those drawings were made step by step, please visit drawingacademy.com. History of Silverpoint. The history of Silverpoint goes back many centuries. First, it was used as writing and marking tools. Many medieval parchment manuscripts have writing lines and margins marked in metal point. Fine artists used Silverpoint as a drawing media. There are many breathtaking drawings in Silverpoint done by the Old Masters. Many great artists from the past left their creative heritage in this media. Leonardo da Vinci, Filippino Lippi, Albrecht Dürer, Raphael, Sandro Botticelli, Rogier van der Weyden, Van Eyck, Hans Holbein, and many others. In his book, Il Libre dell'Arte, Cennini, fine artist and art historian of the Renaissance times, gives instructions to fine artists that the Silverpoint technique should be mastered first by the apprentice before advancing to the medium of painting. This advice corresponds well with the drawing in Silverpoint by Raphael, who beautifully drew a portrait of a boy, which is assumed to be his self-portrait before the age of 17. Young Albrecht Dürer does another well-known Silverpoint self-portrait at the age of 13, when he was an assistant in his father's goldsmith workshop. The reason why Cennini was insisting on art apprentices mastering Silverpoint first is because this technique requires much greater control and precision than any other drawing media. The discipline of metal point helps to develop a skill of drawing that is essential for any draftsman who wants to improve their fine art skills. By the 16th century, use of metal point as a drawing media had declined because new drawing materials like graphite became available. Before that, fine artists used such drawing media like charcoal, earth chalks, and metal point. In the 17th century, some fine artists continue using silver point on rare occasions. For example, Rembrandt made the portrait of his wife, Saskia, in 1633 using the metal point technique. In the 19th century, metal point media had once again gained the attention of fine artists. The demand for metal point materials was big enough for Winsor and Newton to produce and sell metal point kits. There are many artists who work today in this technique. However, it is by no means a mainstream media. Here are some examples of contemporary artworks in Silverpoint. Dimas J. Martin, Richard A. Kirk, David Ladmore, Tom Mazzullo, Douglas S. Gillette, Curtis Bartone, and one of my favorite Silverpoint artists, Victor Kuhlbach. The Silverpoint drawing method has changed very little since the time of the old masters. The same principles are in place. An artist uses a soft metal stylus, which leaves small deposits on a surface coated with special grounds. These days, more modern metal point materials are available for fine artists. For example, I have done many drawings in a nickel-silver alloy on grounds containing titanium white. Such alloys and pigments were not invented yet at the time of the old masters. In the next review, I will go into more detail about materials that can be used for Silverpoint artworks. Metal point drawing tools. Because the Silverpoint technique is not widely used today, you may find that your local art supply store might not stock metal point drawing materials. Nevertheless, you can go around and fill your drawing toolbox with necessary materials when you know what to look for. All materials for Silverpoint drawing can be divided into drawing tools, grounds, and supports. Let's start with drawing tools. A metal point stylus is made of soft metal that leaves small particles on specially prepared grounds. Many soft metals and metal alloys are suitable for the metal point technique. Each metal has its own unique characteristics and reacts in a different way to the ground and environment. Here's the list of most used metals for drawing. 1. Silver. Silver is one of the most used metal points. Many old masters favor this metal for its noble origins, purity of lines, permanence, and affordability. Silverpoint was so commonly used that the metal point technique is often interchangeably called Silverpoint. Silverpoint gives gray tint lines that with time tarnish into a brown color. A Silverpoint stylus can be made from silver wire, available in the jewelry making industry. Here is a 0.9mm dead soft pure 999 silver. The stylus is thin silver wire, held in a mechanical pencil. There are other thicker wires available, like this 2mm dead soft silver stylus. It has two workable ends which are shaped differently. One has a pointy tip, the other end is cut under a 45-degree angle. A 45-degree angle tip can produce even wider lines. This working end can actually give two types of lines, thin and wide. If this end is placed on the support on its flat polished surface, the wider line can be drawn. On the other hand, turning the stylus so it touches the paper with a sharp edge gives slimmer lines. In this way, tips on either end of the stylus can be used to make a variety of lines with different thicknesses. Any other pieces of silver metal can be shaped and used for drawing. Just to illustrate how pure silver works, I will use a 999 silver bullion coin. It is a 1 troy ounce Austrian Philharmonic coin. The coin marks grounded surfaces very well. The dead soft silver stylus is made of the same pure silver as the bullion coin. 2. Gold. The most noble of all metal points is gold. This precious metal gives a great deal of satisfaction both during the drawing process and as a finished artwork. Here is a pure 999 gold stylus. Needless to say, it comes with a hefty price tag. A pure gold point gives a lighter, warm gray mark. Gold is one of the metals that will not tarnish with time. Its warm gray marks will keep high permanency of the color. Gold point gives delicate lines and is very pleasant to draw with. However, due to the high price, a gold point technique is less popular than silver point. I have to say, though, that one small piece of 0.9 mm golden wire will last for years and can be used for hundreds of metal point drawings. In the long run, it will justify its price. 3. Copper. Copper is another metal that can be used for metal point drawings. Pure copper has a reddish-orange color. Man has used this metal for thousands of years. For metal point drawings, copper often was used as an alloy ingredient. It can be melted with silver with proportions up to 20% of copper or gold, thus reducing the price of these expensive metals. Copper leaves gray marks on a ground. With time, it will tarnish to a yellowish-greenish tint. 4. Brass. Brass is another alloy of copper with zinc. It is cheap, so you don't have to invest in expensive metal point materials. Here's a bronze screw with a sandpapered end. I think you have an idea by now that any soft metal which leaves marks on a specially prepared ground can be used for drawing purposes. The brass stylus that's made from a screw gives very noticeable marks as well. Brass marks are slightly lighter and have a gray color with a slightly yellowing tint. 5. Nickel-silver. Another metal point is the nickel-silver. Here's the 0.9 mm nickel-silver stylus. It is a good and affordable metal point tool. Despite its name, this metal alloy contains no chemical silver. This stylus is made of alloy copper, nickel, and zinc. The name nickel-silver derives from its white silvery appearance. It is also called German silver, as this metal was reinvented in Germany in the 18th century. Early on, it was produced in China. However, it is unlikely the old masters had the benefit of using it, because the export of this strategic metal was banned in ancient China. Nickel-silver stylus leaves well-pronounced gray marks that are even darker than those left by pure silver or gold. 6. Lead. Lead is one of the ancient metals used for writing and drawing. Pure lead is very soft and does not require a specially prepared ground. It will mark plain uncoated paper. This is the only erasable metal point. Due to its softness, lead stylus will become a blunt quite quickly and requires resharpening more often than other metal point tools. During the old master's time, lead was also alloyed with tin and other metals to produce drawing styluses. However, lead is toxic and therefore not advisable for use. 7. Pewter. A good alternative to lead is pewter. This alloy is made of tin and copper, and therefore is not toxic. It is reasonably soft, which gives both advantage and disadvantage in metal point drawing. Being soft allows the use of this metal alloy on most grounds for silver point. At the same time, the stylus tip might become blunt quicker than other metal points. There are other metals and alloys that can be used for metal point drawing. You can test various items like coins, keys, badges, etc. made of metal to see how they mark coated supports. You might find some unassuming items that can become your drawing tools. Originally, a metal stylus was held in a wooden handle. Alternatively, a mechanical pencil can be used as a stylus holder. I'm using two sizes, 0.9 and 2 mm pencils, which hold metal wire very well. A mechanical pencil is a very convenient tool and a big improvement since the old master's time. Apart from toxic lead, which can be used on plain paper, all other metal points require specially prepared supports. Today, metal point is seldom used because there are so many other drawing medias available, which do not require support coating. However, even among contemporary drawing materials, there is no alternative to metal point when it comes to capturing the smallest details. A thin Silverpoint stylus produces permanent non-fading and non-erasable lines that will withstand the test of time. Some of the old masters' drawings are more than 700 years old. Such permanence is explained by the inertness of the metals used. For example, gold point will remain stable without oxidation for as long as the support lasts. So here we are today, with the Silverpoint support and ground dictating how permanent metal point artwork will be. Silverpoint supports. Metal point styluses would only leave marks on specially grounded supports. Some suppliers provide prefabricated mixes for support grounds, as well as ready-coated papers. Although main art supply stores do not stock metal point drawing tools, you may find various supports suitable for Silverpoint. Such supports included wooden panels, ceramic tiles, gesso panels, paper boards, paper, vellum or parchment, which is often made from calfskin, and other natural and synthetic materials. Each of the supports has its advantages and disadvantages. While wooden panels are strong and rigid, they can be quite bulky. Imagine a collection of 100 separate drawings on wooden panels. Ceramic tiles have the strongest and toughest surface, but they are very heavy, limited in size and therefore impractical. Some art supply stores sell specially prepared gesso panels. Such panels offer great support and come with ready-to-draw surface. However, a fine artist might consider the price they come at. Vellum or parchment is great and authentic support. The La Bella Principessa drawing, possibly done by Leonardo da Vinci, is toned Silverpoint drawing on vellum. Needless to say that such support has never been cheap. On another hand, properly stored parchment will outlive paper for many centuries. The most affordable, light, versatile, easy to use and store support is heavy-duty paper. In fact, many of medieval and Renaissance Silverpoint drawings are done on paper. Each support must be covered with a special ground that will take metal point marks. Flexibility of a support dictates how many layers of ground can be applied on a surface. For paper support, 2 coats of ground are sufficient enough to take the Silverpoint marks while keeping paper flexible. Parchment can be coated in the same manner as paper. Rigid wooden and gesso panels can hold more ground layers. Each additional coat needs to be applied after the previous one is completely dry. A smooth surface of the board can be achieved by sandpapering every coat before applying the next layer. In the next chapter, you will discover how to prepare a Silverpoint ground and what materials can be used for that purpose. Preparing Silverpoint grounds. Plain supports must be coated with specially prepared metal point grounds. Such grounds have to be a little bit abrasive, so a Silverpoint stylus can deposit microscopic particles of metal on the surface. At the time of the old masters, traditional metal point ground recipes were using such materials like bone dust, eggshell powder, seashell powder, and the lead white pigment. Today, more convenient materials become available for fine artists. A Silverpoint ground can be purchased as a ready-made powder. Some online shops offer such pre-mixed grounds. It is quite easy to prepare a metal point ground yourself. Some materials for that purpose include a white chalk powder as filler for a metal point ground. Marble dust is another alternative for the ground. It has an appropriate abrasive nature and works well for rigid supports. The titanium white pigment can be added to the mix. It is very opaque and has a brilliant white color. Gum arabic can be used as a binding material for the ground. This is the same binder that comes in watercolor and gouache paints. Some recipes for metal point grounds have other binding mediums like shellac, animal or plant glues, and casein. Ready-made gouache is a great ground for metal point drawings. White gouache can be mixed with any other gouache or watercolor color to achieve the desired tint and tone. For example, gold ochre. Sepia or Van Dyke brown can be added into a white gouache to get brown tint. A palette knife is a useful tool to work with grounds. A flat synthetic brush is good for applying the ground on the drawing's support. White pigments and powders can give a clean, fresh look to the support. However, many artists use off-white or toned backgrounds for metal point drawings. Toning the ground comes from the time of the old masters, when artists were creating light and shade chiaroscuro effects. The tint of a ground was used as a middle tone, while shadows were rendered in metal point and lights highlighted in white paint, usually white lead. Tinted backgrounds made the drawing process more economical. Using the tone of the ground as a mid-tone saves time, as an artist only needs to render dark shades in Silverpoint while leaving middle tones untouched. The highlights then can be washed in white, water-based paint, like watercolor or gouache. Various paints can be used for toned backgrounds. In the past, dry pigments for oil or tempera paints were the obvious choice for that purpose. Today, the variety of traditional natural pigments or new synthetic colors can be added to the ground mix. Colored gouache or watercolor paints are well suited for that task. Tinted backgrounds can have any color an artist chooses. The common choices for the background tint were affordable and widely available pigments of green, brown, gray, and other colors. To tint a background, dry color pigment can be added into the ground mix. Pigments like terra verte, indigo, hematite, vermilion, ochre, and others were often used. The use of expensive pigments like blue lapis lazurite was limited to illustrations in medieval scripts. Now I will illustrate the process of preparing a Silverpoint ground and coating a support with it. There are many recipes of making a ground for Silverpoint drawings. In this case, I am using one that has simple ingredients and is fast to make. This ground has white designer's gouache as the main component. It also contains sepia and titanium white pigments. Modern materials made Silverpoint less harmful to the artist's health. One of the original recipes for the metal point ground included toxic white lead, which these days can be replaced with zinc oxide or titanium white pigments. Titanium white pigment is optional. It serves the purpose of abrasive dust. It can be replaced with white chalk or marble dust, for example. Components of the ground give necessary abrasive qualities to the coated support surface. It is similar to drawing on very fine sandpaper. Soft metal styluses will leave marks on such smooth yet abrasive coat. Gouache has gum arabic as a binding medium. Mixing mediums such as glue, water, gum arabic, or other animal or plant glue can bound the ground pigments and dust. Sometimes linseed oil can be used as well. The flat synthetic brush is used for support coating. This brush is quite soft and leaves no visible brush marks, which is important for the metal point artwork appearance. Usually 2 to 3 coats of ground are sufficient for drawing support. However, some artists were applying up to 9 coats with intermediate sandpapering of dry ground layers to achieve a smooth surface. To learn more on the Silverpoint grounds by watching video lessons specifically dedicated to this topic, you can sign up for the Drawing Academy course at www.drawingacademy.com. The Drawing Art Academy is the online course that teaches solid skills of classical drawing. The Academy founders, Vladimir London and Natalie Ritchie, created a series of video lessons which reveals secrets of traditional drawing techniques. Academy tutors will show you, by their own example, how to draw as they create artworks right in front of your eyes from beginning to end, all while explaining step by step everything you need to know about drawing. This course delivers no-nonsense information on how to draw proficiently. It is designed for students of all ages and levels. Beginners will find this course extremely beneficial to starting their creative career, while advanced art students will benefit from the deep experience of the Academy tutors and can take their drawing skills to the next level. Here is what you will get with the Drawing Art Academy course. 45 how to draw video lessons presented online. Multiple fine art bonus books. Personal academic support from the Academy tutors via email. Postgraduate free lifetime access to all video lessons and bonuses. Diploma of Excellence in your name. The 45 multi-part video lessons are streamed online. Every month, you will get 15 new lessons. Here is the list of videos you will get access to in the first month. 1. Drawing materials and equipment. 2. How to use pencils and hatching techniques. 3. Theory of drawing in perspective. 4. Drawing geometrical objects. 5. How to draw facial features, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the ears, etc. 6. How to draw a head, antique bust of the hero Shellac. 7. How to draw a head, antique bust of the Amazon woman. 8. How to draw a head, antique bust of Asclepios. 9. How to draw a girl's portrait, copied after Leonardo da Vinci. 10. Architectural detail drawing. 11. Live portrait in red pencil. 12. Exterior drawings in 1 and 2 point perspective. 13. Anatomy of the human head, the bones of the skull and head muscles. 14. Creative drawing, portrait of Shakespeare. 15. The Old Master's Study, the National Gallery sketchbooks. 'In the second month, you will receive an additional 15 video lessons. 16. Human anatomy, the skeletal structure of human body. 17. Female portrait, Talia. 18. Creative portrait, La Bella Principessa. 19. How to draw eyes in a realistic manner. 20. Drawing of antique figure, Belvedere torso. 21. How to draw hands, anatomy of the hands and gesture drawings. 22. Creative drawing techniques, drawing of the top model, Vodianova. 23. Architectural details, drawing Corinthian capitals of St. Paul Cathedral. 24. The secrets of golden proportions. 25. Pen and ink drawing techniques. 26. Landscape drawings in pen and ink. 27. Drawing of the horse's head from the Parthenon. 28. Botanical drawings. How to draw maple leaves. 29. Botanical drawings. How to draw rose petals. 30. Silverpoint technique. Life portrait of a female model. The third month videos are 31. Anatomy for fine arts. The muscles of the human body. 32. How to draw hands. Gesture drawings in pen and ink. 33. Classical human figure proportions. 34. Female figure drawing in Silverpoint. 35. Discobolus statue drawing in Silverpoint. 36. Female model life drawing in red pencil. 37. Life female figure drawing in red pencil. 38. How to draw a girl's portrait in charcoal. 39. How to draw animals, birds. 40. How to draw animals, squirrels. 41. How to draw animals, horses. 42. How to draw animals, dogs. 43. Rome, cityscape drawing in black ink and wash. 44. Figurative calligraphy drawing. 45. Creative composition, unique drawing technique. In addition to the video lessons, you will also receive bonus books, which you can download in PDF format to your computer or read them online. The Drawing Art Academy course is greatly subsidized, so you can learn everything you need to become a skillful artist in just 3 months for a minuscule price. This course will cost you as little as 1 cup of coffee per day. It will give you a much better value than you would get from a contemporary art college or university. The total value of the 45 video lessons presented in the Drawing Art Academy course is $4,455, 45 lessons at $99 each. However, you will not pay that. You can enroll on a monthly basis, making 3 easy installments of $97 per month over 3 months. This gives you a total discount of $4,164. After those 3 months are over, no more payments will be due. You will continue to enjoy free lifetime access to all video lessons and bonuses. This includes all future updates and upgrades at no cost. If you want to save even more, get all the video lessons and bonus books for a one-time payment of only $257. This gives you an additional discount of $34. You will receive immediate access to all Academy materials. Your subscription will become free of charge for a lifetime thereafter. In both cases, you will receive the Drawing Art Academy Diploma of Excellence in your name after 3 months. Get your access to the Drawing Art Academy's video lessons and bonuses. Secure your success by enrolling in the course at the introductory discounted price. Click Add to Cart button now.